Hello, it's me, Roz. Today, I'm going to be talking about the anonymous, strangest, and yet most powerful hacker in the world. This hacker has been known about by only one person, and that one person shared it with me and another individual. This particular hacker has a lot of history behind it, but almost all of it is unknown. Purpose, history, and identity really is. But from what I've gathered so far, all of it has led to me making this video. So everything you're going to see in this video is very private and important information. Now, the most powerful hacker in the world that I'm going to be talking about is none other than MarkWatcher. I'll be discussing about MarkWatcher in chapters, so I'll be talking a lot about him in separate parts. If you haven't seen the previous video, right now would be a good time to do so, as MarkWatcher has made an appearance in that video. I also will be talking about that video, as it will be important later on the more I discuss about it. So go watch it if you can. Anyways, here is the video about MarkWatcher. MarkWatcher's origins were really only known by Plikemar. He shared his logs with me through Discord though, so I'm able to see how they first interacted. But how all of this really started was by me. On October 24, 2022, I mentioned a dream I had about Plikemar being messaged by someone. That dream occurred at nighttime on October 23rd, 2022. It was very strange the more I remembered it. It was very vivid, it felt really real, so when I got up that day, I went to go check my DMs with Plikemar to see if that really happened. And it didn't. So yeah, I talked to him about everything I could remember, and I even recalled the day of when he got contacted. I told him what he should do when he got a friend request, and that was about it. Well, it was time for the 25th. At 7:44 PM, I remembered that the dream was going to happen soon. I even remembered the time of when the dream happened. At around 7:46 PM, Plikemar received a friend request by Please. The name was pretty suspicious as you can tell, and when he accepted it, it was not him. But by around 8 PM, he received another friend request. This time it's from MarkWatcher. I remembered hearing something about the name MarkWatcher in my dream, so when he received that friend request, I knew it was him. It's kind of odd though, like, how did this dream actually happen? I mean, I did have this dream a lot back then, except it was very vague, so I guess it really was trying to tell me something. After he accepted the friend request, he started talking to him. This is where it really begins. The thing that started mostly everything about MarkWatcher, these DMs. However, I won't be going over these DMs since I did not partake in it. Instead, the person who experienced them will go over it. Plikemar.
Hello everybody, my name is Plikemar. I'll be going over my DMs with MarkWatcher since they contain a lot of information about him. These DMs may be a bit strange though, as some of it involves mainly me playing a game of his. He's also very obscure and most of the stuff he said is very odd. The meaning of some of the things he said is also not very clear. Roz will go over most of his cryptic acts later on in the video and try to explain them, but for right now, I'll just be going over our DM. The first question he asked me is if I knew anything about Markiplier. I of course responded with yes, and he then asked me what I know about him. Right off the bat, you can tell he is really into Markiplier.
Hey, yo!
His name is literally MarkWatcher, so it's clear as to what kind of person he is. When he asked me about what I know, I say that I'm an alternate version of Markiplier. His questions mainly revolve whether or not if I was Markiplier. He even gave me a quiz about him in which I answered all of them correctly. After I answered all of his questions and finished the quiz, he then tells me to follow the account UnknownWatcher Mark. If you go to the account on Roblox, you can see in his about page that he somehow knew I was gonna arrive. It reads, "Hello Plikemar, it is me, UnknownWatcher Mark. If you look at his friends, he only has one friend named UnknownWatcher David. We're cute Unknown Watchers. Very strange, isn't it? After I followed his account, he then says he will give me a game to join. He lists a bunch of rules before entering the game. It reads, Number 1. When you're in-game, please start recording the game. Mic audio is optional but not required. When you finish the game, you can hit recording and send me it. Do not share the recording with anyone else. Number 2, do not share the game link with anybody and do not let them join. That will break the game and will be unplayable. Number 3, listen to what the game has to say. You'll know when you get in the game. Those are all the rules he listed. He's basically saying don't share the game with anybody and only I should know about the game. That's very funny though because this video is going up on YouTube for everyone to see, so they're gonna know about the game. So please, if you're watching this video right now, please do not share it with anybody or else Mark Watcher will know the video exists, which wouldn't be good as he's one of the most powerful hackers in the world. He would probably hack and delete buzzes and everything. So just please don't share this with anyone. As I've said before, I won't go over the games since I'll only be talking about RDMs. All I'll really say about the games are that they were very spooky and you shouldn't join them because Mark Watcher will. After I finished the game, he gave me the go reward, and then I sent him the video. After I sent him the video, he says he will be doing very excellent research on it. When I asked him about research, he replied with this. He wrote a whole book of research and it contains highly important research about Markiplier. After that, he says some weird riddle or something. Soon, when the time is right and day shines bright, we will do something that will change the course of actions of the Watchers. That is when we make the move. When I replied asking for more clarity on what the riddle meant, he said, it is a secret. Only us Watchers know what it is. He says that he's the one who hacked me, and he replied saying it was for research yet again. After all of that, this is where he starts getting weird. On October 26, 2022, he sends an image with the following text. Please do not share this image with anyone. When I asked him what it was, he said it was Watcher language. To learn it, he said you have to become a Watcher. I then asked him whether or not he was gonna kill me. What he replies with may be a bit disturbing. This is what he said. After he sent those spooky images, he then sends an audio file. This is what the audio file sounds like. After he sent the audio file, he sent some weird videos. After that, I played 2 of the games that he told me to play. And that was about it. He sent a bunch of strange stuff as usual, in which I'll go over, but after that, then Roz will take over. So yeah, here's all the weird stuff he sent. I live everywhere. Oh, look at the screen. 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 Wait. Blue, red, white, yellow, green, gray, white, blue, plus, minus, 1, 0, 9. Which one is real? Which one is real? Which one is real? Tomorrow, 4:37 a.m. Temperature, moderately high. 66 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 degrees Celsius. Low, 53 degrees Fahrenheit, 11 degrees Celsius. Wind force, light wind speed, 0 miles per hour, 11 kilometers per hour. Light wind, gentle breeze, nothing will be the warm melting effect. Let's see if you will press E321. Let's see if you will press E321. Let's see if you will press E321. With the code speed, 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 with the code speed.
At said by Plikemar, Markwatcher sent about 3 games for him to play. When Plikemar finished the game, he had to send a video of him completing it to Markwatcher. Plikemar sent me the videos, so the footage in the background and what I'm basing on are about these videos. The first game Markwatcher had Plikemar play is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The game took place in a dark cave and there was a telephone on the table. The telephone had Plikemar answer a few questions before opening the door for him to proceed. They say the main objective was to escape the place and to talk to as many people as possible. Not much is revealed about who the telephone guy is, but from what I've gathered so far, I might just know as to who the telephone guy really is. I will explain this later on when Plikemar progresses through the maze. As Plikemar progresses, he meets a bunch of people that talk to him. They all respond back to whatever Plikemar has to say like a real person. Most of the time, the people tell Plikemar where to go in order to escape the maze. Sometimes, they can be evil and don't tell anything at all on how to escape the maze. When they ask how Plikemar got there, he responds with Markwatcher. The people reply with saying they got kidnapped and brought there also by Markwatcher. The reasons as to why Markwatcher would kidnap these people are still not very clear, but if I were gonna have to guess, I'd say they were for research. He even got Jacksepticeye, like, how do you manage to do that? As Plikemar was roaming through the maze, he started hearing random and creepy noises. The origin of where the noises were coming from are unknown, as the monster hasn't appeared once in the video. Later on in the video, Plikemar returns back to the telephone. He tries to ask why he's here for more answers, but they respond with, "I don't know. I'm trying to help you escape." "No, I didn't. I am not him. He does not know I am here. I'm communicating from a different place." These responses contradict the video that Plikemar sent to Markwatcher. So, why would the telephone lie about that? Well, there's a good reason. My theory is that the person behind the telephone is none other than Markwatcher. What he's saying is only said in order for Plikemar to escape, so Markwatcher can do this. If we fast forward to when Plikemar escapes the cave, he messages Markwatcher saying he won. When Markwatcher said he was going to be doing excellent research on the video, Plikemar responded saying he got confused with all the people because he could not see them. Markwatcher then responds confused, asking what he meant by all the people. Now, why would Markwatcher lie about the people in the cave? Well, if you go back to when Plikemar was talking to the people in the cave said they got kidnapped. Markwatcher knew there were going to be people featured in the video, and he also knew that unknown Watcher David was going to be talking through his telephone. If he mentioned that he kidnapped all the people in Discord, then that wouldn't go too well for him. That is my theory. The person behind the telephone is unknown Watcher David, Watcher working alongside Markwatcher. Anyways, that is pretty much everything about the first game. You explore a maze and try to escape while talking to a bunch of people on the way. All of these games share a theme, in which I will go over once I cover all the games. The second game is called 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This game involves some of Plikemar's fears, and is a lot more scarier than the first one. In this game, there is no one to talk to except the telephone. It is all suspense. The first thing that happens when Plikemar enters the game is him being greeted by the telephone. The telephone explains some key features that Plikemar will have to learn, such as the flashlight battery and the footsteps. I still believe unknown Watcher David is behind the telephone, because he'll have to teach Plikemar the steps that are important for him to be able to escape. After the telephone explains everything, they open the door. As soon as Plikemar enters the maze, he's immediately greeted with a bunch of white mannequins. One of Markiplier's fears is that he's afraid of mannequins.
What is Markiplier afraid of? Mannequins!
This entire situation that Plikemar is experiencing right now is very suspenseful for someone who's afraid of mannequins. If you go back to what the telephone had to say, they said that one of the mannequins is alive and will move when you aren't looking. The alive mannequin makes footsteps when it's moving, so when it does move, you have no idea which mannequin is moving. He also has flashlight battery, so he'll need to conserve his battery in order to see. While he's exploring the maze, most of the time he's trying to find a slightly yellow colored mannequin, which is the key. The problem is, there's an alive mannequin roaming around finding the colored mannequin. If If he touches even a part of the alive mannequin, he instantly dies. After he finds the key, another alive mannequin spawns. The exit is very close to where he is though, so he should be able to make it past safely. After exiting the maze, he gets sent underwater. His objective is to now find a glowing orb in an ocean. While he explores the ocean to try and find the glowing orb, a bunch of strange sounds play that sound like something is in the water with him. The monster was hidden and did not encounter Plikemar at all, luckily. This segment is also another one of Plikemar and Markiplier's fears. The fear of the ocean. After he finds the orb, he gets sent to another area. As he moves on, 3 paths appear. He'll have to go back to Discord to view which path to pick, as Markwatcher said something about it before. He meets a bacon hare who somehow knows of Plikmar's existence. He asks for codes that Markwatcher had said before. Plikemar tells him the codes, and after that, the bacon hare asks why Plikemar likes Markiplier. Plikemar answers all questions correctly, obviously, and escapes into freedom. As to who the bacon hare could be, he's probably a person hired by Markwatcher or David in order to let him escape, since he knew Plikemar was eventually going to arrive. That is pretty much it for the second game. Very scary if you have the fear of mannequins in the ocean. The third game is called 56789. There's unfortunately no video for me to go on since Plikemar played it on a live stream that I cannot view. However, I do have the game link and I'm able to play the game for myself and share my thoughts on it. Markwatcher said the game was hard and is pretty scary. So yeah, this game will be different from the others. When you go in game, there's no telephone. It is only you, and you have your own dialogue. Once again, there's flashlight battery, so you're gonna have to conserve it. Once you exit the door, you find a radar in your inventory. The radar's numbers get lower the closer you are to the white part. For this level, you have to collect 3 white parts. It's not that easy though, because a monster is in there with you. The monster makes constantly loud footsteps and makes strange noises. It is also always in the front. To avoid the monster, to a hiding spot. This is this will take away all your value and won't make any noise at all. He's still chasing you though. After you find all 3 white cubes, you get teleported to another place. This is the second and last level of the third game. You'll have to find the white cubes again, but this time, the monster functions differently. This monster functions very similarly to the It Steals Hide and Seek monster. The monster hides in a random spot close to the player in the map, and if you are near it, the monster activates. The monster then counts down by 10 seconds. Here's the problem though. This monster is very rare, and while you're exploring the maze, it can literally spawn right on top of you. So most of the time, you're going to be hiding and the monster's going to be roaming around the map. You can still win while he roams around the map, but you just have to be very careful about whether or not it is near. After you find all the white cubes, you win the game. You're supposed to earn a badge when you beat the game, but it doesn't work, so you just have to get the badge. That's it for the third game. Very difficult and very scary. And that's it for the games that Plikemar played. These games were all made by Markwatcher, but could have possibly been made by other members of the Watcher community too. Markwatcher did say he had 10,643 members in the Watcher community, so literally anyone could have worked on these games. But someone I know for sure who could have worked on the game is unknown Watcher David. There's no way David is friends with Markwatcher for no reason. He had to have worked on the game, and as I've said before, he could be the one behind the telephone. But a question that still hasn't been answered yet is why did Markwatcher have Plikemar finish those games? Well, if you look back at what Markwatcher has said, he's always talking about research and about Plikemar.
Hey, yo!
When Plikemar said why they need this research, he said they need to study him. The reason as to why Markwatcher need to study him is unknown, and is not 100% clear. But all I know is that it has something to do with Markiplier, and him being an alternate version of him. Now, we can easily figure out what kind of research Markwatcher is getting by looking very closely at the games he had Plikemar play. The first game involved communicating with people, the second game involved fears, and the third game involved skill. This means he made these games to test the communication, fear, and skill factors about Plikemar for research. He probably made sure to record everything that Plikemar did throughout the games. His research isn't very clear, but I'll try my best to figure out Markwatcher's true purpose later on in this video. Markwatcher made his hacking presence known through Plikmar's DMs. When Plikemar asked Markwatcher what his biggest fear was, he responded with being exposed to the public and the cops pulling up on him. He also said he fears being arrested. When he got asked why, he replied saying he's a professional hacker who hacked a lot. His statement about being a professional hacker is true, as he's hacked into Plikmar's account before. This can be shown in a live stream I did before, where he started messaging me very cryptic stuff. Markwatcher had me go through a bunch of steps in order to have Plikemar get his account back. After I absolutely bodied him in Project Summon, he then returned Plikmar's account back, and that's how it ended. After all that happened, I got a message by a user named IDF. They claim to be an anti-hacker corporation that is against hackers. They even have a website. Here's their About Me video. Very informative and crazy video. Tells a lot about the corporation and is very cool. This website will be listed in the description down below, so if you want to go visit this very awesome website, then you can. Anyways, the IDF people wanted to know information about Markwatcher. When I told them all I knew about Markwatcher back then, his account and website started to get hacked. He then said he received a friend request from Markwatcher, so what happened was, that was pretty much it for IDF. Now I'm going to be talking about the previous video I made colliding with Plikemar. At some point in the cleaning simulator portion of the video, I asked about a corrupted livestream I saw when I was viewing my YouTube videos. The response I get is very creepy, and he starts getting blocked out and even possessed sometimes. The more I ask about the livestream and who created it, Plikemar starts getting more and more glitched out as if he was being hacked. Using the clues I've gotten from Plikemar as he tries to fight off the hack, I came up with the conclusion that it was Markwatcher who was hacking it. This is further proved if you go to the Morse code part in the video. The Morse code spells out the following. Oh, what the heck? Morse code. You know, I'll just like decode it when I edit this video. It spells out Markwatcher. Markwatcher is a need to figure that part out because he does not know Morse code. Later on in the video, he says a date, October 25th. Guess what happened on October 25th? That is the first time Plikemar and Markwatcher interacted with each other, meaning the person that was hacking Plikemar is clearly Markwatcher himself. Now, throughout the video and the logs of Markwatcher, he keeps sending and playing a specific audio file every time. If you reverse the audio file, you get this. What I've been told is that whenever you hear the reverse version of this audio file, that means you are being watched. The actual audio file is unknown, and the meaning meaning of it is not clear. If I were gonna have to guess, this piano playing is Mark Watcher's theme, but when it's reversed, that means he's watching it. Here are the reversed audio files that he sent and played though. That is pretty much all I know about the hacking incidents Mark Watcher caused. Who knows what Mark Watcher could do next, as he is pretty much watching everywhere. Maybe the world would. What I'm about to talk about is only a theory, and may not be actually true. It is only from what I've gathered so far that has led up to me coming up with this theory. The first appearance that Mark Watcher made was on my live stream when he hacked into Plekemar's account. This was on October 23rd, 2022. He claims to have hacked Plekemar's account for private information. This private information was probably for research as he made some research, since the account name is called Plikemar. Mark Watcher probably saw my live stream and saw that Plikemar punched on my and then used private information after he's gotten the private information he needed, instead of hacking, he messages him directly. He asked Plikemar questions to see if he really was the person hacking this to make sure. After that, he had Plikemar go through various games in order to obtain research on his communication, fear, skill levels. If we're talking about Mark Watcher's purpose, all we know so far is that he's gathered a bunch of the people he kidnapped in Plikemar. He also watches everywhere, as when I talked about him in the collab video, he immediately blocked out any word mentioning his name. His research is also about Markiplier. Okay, here's my theory. Mark Watcher is obviously a fan of Markiplier, so he's probably watched a lot of videos about Markiplier. So Mark Watcher's true purpose could definitely come from Markiplier. I mean, his name is Mark Watcher for a reason. Anyways, as Mark Watcher watched a bunch of Markiplier videos, he became more and more curious later on as he watched more videos. This curiosity led him in becoming the most powerful and most anonymous hacker in the world. After he reached his goal of becoming a hacker, he searches every live stream in the world to find a live stream mentioning Markiplier. I just so happen to be the most cracked and most popular YouTuber in the world, so he stumbled across my channel in curiosity. Once he started watching my live stream, he sees a user in the chat named Plikemar. Since he became a hacker to research more about Markiplier, he decided to hack into Plikmar's account and use private information. Ever since then, he started hacking Plikmar's account. The reason as to why he would go so far in order to know more about Markiplier is because he wants to entertain himself more and know more about this alternate version of Markiplier that Plikemar called himself. The riddle Mark Watcher said before about the days shining bright and the time being right could possibly mean the day when Mark Watcher feels as if he's ready to hack the world with a Markiplier. All the people he's kidnapped could be tapped on with Mark Watcher in order to make the version work. Probably one of the longest hacking. That is all I have for right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below about my theory and this video. And remember, do not share this video with anyone else. Mark Watcher will eventually be taken down and will be stopped from his evil hacking and kidnapping. And this video is the start of it. Whatever you do not mention Mark Watcher's name anywhere at all, or he will know. Remember, he is always watching.